What's up? Welcome back. My name is Eli with 8482. Today, I want to leave you guys with knowing the exact platform that you should be posting on if you're a personal trainer. Now, there's not one specific platform, or I would give it to you right now. It's going to be dependent on a lot of variables. The reason I love working with trainers so much is because understanding content is so similar to understanding client relationships and understanding personal training as a whole. So if you have questions like, should I be posting on YouTube? Should I start an Instagram, Facebook, TikTok? Should I run advertising campaigns? Should I start a podcast or a blog? This video is gonna help you understand with your specific skill sets and where you're at right now and what your end goals are, which platforms you should be posting on. Now, where I wanna start is looking at the cycle of where we're at in terms of content. And that mirror images where we're at in the personal training industry. I was a personal trainer ever since I was 18 years old, and I branched off into the content space because I realized that by providing valuable content to some of the highest level trainers out there, I had the ability to impact more people and do more good in the world than if I was just a personal trainer at 18 years old. So I started working with personal trainers and traveling the country and meeting all kinds of incredible people and helping them put out content, the best quality content possible on all these different platforms. I want to share with you a general overview of where you should start. So understanding the content cycle, as I said, is similar to understanding where we're at in the personal training industry in the sense that a lot of people and a lot of content creators or people that are pushing you out there to create content are just saying test, 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 see what works. And that's a lot like saying, well, you want to build muscle, test out what works. It's almost as if, you're not paying any attention to the fact that in the personal training space, you've done so much research. You already know what exercises build muscle, what rep ranges build muscle, different strategies that you can take to build muscle, right? So I want to share that with you. There's a few questions that we want to look at in the content cycle. One of which is a lot of people think, well, shouldn't the content that I create just be what I'm best at doing? So for example, if I'm a power lifter, shouldn't I just be creating content relevant to powerlifting? If I lift kettlebells, shouldn't I just be creating kettlebell content? No. If you're best at one exercise, should that be the only exercise that you do? Definitely not. I'm sure as you work with clients, you teach them new exercises depending on their problems and where they're trying to get to. Another common thing is, people create what they feel. A lot of personal trainers are really intuitive, so they just create what comes to their mind, what they think would be the best video. Again, you're not gonna just tell your client, no, just do the exercises that you feel, bro. Like, it's gonna take you in the right place. It's not always the case. Your job is to prescribe them the content that they want, or the exercises that they want. My job is to give you the content that you guys need as well. And now the algorithms, all right? There are specific algorithms that are different for each of these platforms that I'm gonna get into in a different series where I go into each one specifically. But in this video, I just want you to understand which ones are gonna benefit you the best, all right? So the algorithm is very similar to research, okay? If you want a specific goal in exercise, chances are you're gonna wanna analyze the research. And the trainers that know the research have the best chances of getting their clients results, right? So often in this space, research is quoted, studies are quoted, whether that be for nutrition, hypertrophy, whatever the hell it is. The algorithm is very similar. So understanding the algorithm of each of these platforms is gonna help you know, just made money on Shopify, is gonna help you know which platform you're gonna create. And all that takes us again to the platform, okay? So understanding where we're at in the content cycle, long story short, is saying that we have posted enough content in the last 15 years where content has really kind of blown up to know what works and to know what doesn't work. So posting the best things that you're good at or what you feel like doing, not playing to the algorithm and not thinking about what platform is gonna work best for you and just testing out a bunch of stuff is not the right thing to do at all right? So the first thing I wanna walk you through is the problem that I've seen most personal trainers dealing with. And those are visibility, their content's outdated, they need a bump in their reputation, or they need to establish a reputation in the industry, or they're trying to get new clients to increase sales, whether that be in person or online. So visibility, I'll give it to you guys right now. TikTok is gonna be the platform for that. If you guys are just looking to increase visibility in the short term, posting on YouTube is not going to get you there. YouTube is owned by Google, and its algorithm predominantly when you're starting off, not when you're established, but when you're starting off, is based off of what we call SEO, search engine optimization. When somebody types something into Google, when somebody types something into YouTube, what is the best video that's going to show up for them first, that's going to answer their question? And YouTube leans to established channels with a lot of views for putting out content in front of people. So you're going to need a long-term approach to YouTube if you're looking to gain visibility off the bat. And it's not going to happen in a week or a month. It might not even happen for you in a year unless you have specific softwares and tools and a strategy that will help you. Instagram, same thing. It's very hard to get any sort of organic reach on Instagram. The only way you're going to get visibility is by posting content that's extremely shareable, so that any 1 to 10 people that are following you off the bat, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, whatever it is, if you have 10,000 followers, you're not even getting 10,000 views on the videos that you're being posted. So visibility is a net negative on Instagram. You're gonna have to pay for ads. You're gonna have to post content that's extremely shareable. Same with Facebook, advertising, podcast. Advertising is a great way to increase visibility if you have the budget for it. If you don't have the budget for it, it's an X. Podcast is not great for visibility at all short term. There's hundreds of thousands of podcasts, and if your podcast gets over 75 downloads in 48 hours, you are already in the top 25 percentile. That means that the majority of the podcasts are getting less than 75 downloads. So visibility for podcasts, again, it's a long game unless you're, working with advertising on these platforms to bump up your initial reach. If your content is old and outdated, I've worked with institutes or organizations that have been at a halt because they don't look the part. Their information is far more complex and far more, it's quality information, but the look and feel of it is not modern at all. It doesn't look sexy. And so in that case, you're looking at video content, you're looking at skills, you're looking at equipment, and you're looking at how can you reinvent your website, reinvent your social media channels so that they can look a little bit better, okay? Reputation is another one. If you just need to quickly establish yourself and your reputation as a personal trainer, my recommendation is that Instagram is the fastest way to do that for you. On Instagram, you can quickly post 30 aesthetically appealing photos and immediately establish yourself when you give out a business card with your Instagram handle on it. Instagram is a visual platform. There's very little substance to images. It's a quick judgment. It happens in a matter of split seconds if somebody likes you or if they don't like you. As opposed to YouTube, somebody's watching the whole video and there's a lot more chances for them to not like you on YouTube or on podcast or on long form Facebook videos, for example, than there is on Instagram. So if you're dealing with a reputation issue and you need to establish yourself quickly, go to Instagram. New clients is another just big one, whether that's online clients into program sales or in-person clients that need to come into your brick and mortar personal training studio, or if you're going to their homes, whatever it might be. The question now becomes, where is the demographic that you're looking to work with? Okay, they could be on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. The question then is not which platform, it's where, and which platform is your audience on, and that is going to now be the question that you need to ask. If you're a youth trainer and you're looking to train, youth, TikTok, Instagram. If you're looking to sell online programs, YouTube. Those videos are going to be SEO optimized and they're going to live there forever. Unlike Instagram, where they just kind of get lost as you post more and more and more. Or TikTok, as they get lost and the views go down as you post more and more and more. Podcasts is a great way, again, to get new clients. All right, so the real question though is where? You could have the best podcast in the world, but if none of your clients listen to podcasts and they're all hanging out on Instagram, your podcast isn't going to do anything. So that being said, hopefully you have a good idea of what your problem is and which platform might lean to solving your problem, to focus your energy to post content. Skill set is the next thing we want to go over. Are you an incredible oral storyteller? Podcast is going to be your avenue. Okay, are you really good at sales? YouTube might be your avenue. Are you extremely good at writing? I didn't write it here, but blog might be the best thing for you. Are you visual? Okay, do you have a really good design background, or are you aesthetically aware? Instagram might be what you want to do. Are you just like funny? For example, funny. Go to TikTok. Don't worry about any of the other platforms. All right, and then what equipment do you have? When you work with a client and you're working on Zoom sessions or however you're working with them, one of the first questions you ask, well, what equipment do you have? Then you can design a program, right? So if you don't have a mic, you're not going to be recording a podcast. If you have an iPhone, you could do any of this stuff. Don't record a podcast on an iPhone, despite what Brian Rose or anybody might tell you is possible. Audio quality matters. So do you have a camera? Do you have skills for creating content? Do you have experience editing videos? Do you know how to work, Splice or different, iPhone applications where you can just piece together those videos on your phone? If you don't have any of these things, again, TikTok might be your avenue because you can edit videos in their platform. You don't need that much skill to do it. Everything's right there for you, as opposed to these other platforms where you don't have the ability to edit and create content in the platform. How much time? How much time do you have to work out? Common question for your clients. Can you dedicate 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours? And what's going to be most effective for you? Depending on the amount of time that you can dedicate to these platforms, that's going to dictate which platform is going to be most effective. If you only have an hour a week, again, you might need to go TikTok. You can't record, edit, post, schedule a podcast in an hour. You can't do that for YouTube. So limited time, I would lean to TikTok and Instagram. And as you get more and more time, if this is something that's really serious for you, go into the YouTube, go into the podcast, all right? Look at advertising if you're trying to sell something, or if you just need local clients, you create a great ad, you do the 5 hours it's gonna take to research how to advertise that, how to get that in front of your community, you're good to go, okay? So depending on the amount of time that you have, that's gonna dictate the platform as well. And then your end goal or level of commitment. A lot of us, and chances are you too, you don't wanna be creating content for the next 30 years, right? There is a play to this. There is either a 3-month, 6-month, 12-month play. If you are looking at this long-term, like I wanna be creating content for the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and be the guy in my industry, have everybody know my name, well, chances are YouTube and podcasts are a good place for you. You might not see initial visibility, but you might see long-term success. There's a lot more empires that are built out on podcasts and YouTube than there are on TikTok. There's a lot more revenue in podcasts and YouTube than there is in Instagram. You can monetize podcasts, you can monetize Instagram, you can monetize advertising. You can try to sell through TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, but unless you really hit it big on these platforms, it's gonna be a little harder to monetize. Not saying you can't do it. All right, so the amount of time that you have, the end goal and commitment, the equipment, the skill set, and what problem you're facing should be included in your strategy so that you're no longer testing content. All right, so hopefully that this overview helped. Hopefully you have a better idea of which platforms you're thinking about spending your specific time to. And in the next videos that I'm gonna get into, I'm gonna go over the algorithms, all right? So the current research, so to say, that we know about each of these platforms that will give you the best chance of succeeding in them.